The following podcast contains adult language and themes, so don't say we didn't fucking warn you.
You're listening to Sarah Talk. It's political.
Senator Harris.
She reminds me so much of like if Maria from Sesame Street went into politics and got angry about shit.
Who's that other, the Wisconsin girl that nobody likes? What's her freaking something chur? Yobichur?
Oh my god, this is gold.
Girl.
Keep going. Keep going.
Critical.
They care about the life of the unborn child, but once it's born, you know, it should pull up its little bootstraps and go get its second job and fucking take care of itself, you know?
And positively LGBT positive.
Look, and whenever there's someone coming after my community, they are either wearing a MAGA hat, carrying a Bible, or more often both.
Oh, and occasionally completely absurd.
Oh, they're shutting us down. They're deplatforming us. I do a pretty good Alex Jones voice. They're turning the frogs gay.
Okay, you're sleeping in a child's room tonight because there's no way you're sleeping next to me. That is disgusting. I'm going to have nightmares.
And now, from Haines City, Florida, your host, Sarah Austin.
Hey, everybody.
Hey, guys.
Welcome to SarahTalk.
It's funny. They couldn't even tell you were talking because...
No. Welcome to the disease-controlled Center for Coronavirus, whatever.
We're not breathing on each other anymore?
Right. Mine's slipping.
Because you're not wearing it right, you dope.
Whatever.
It's supposed to go up over your ears.
I know that, but my mask on. Okay, I can't do this anymore.
Oh, you're no fun.
I'm sorry.
Well,
you can wear yours as long as you want.
No, I can't drink if I'm wearing it because I didn't get straws.
That was fun.
It was funny.
It was really good. Like right before we sat down, Becca says, I have a great idea. Yes.
Well, you know.
And if the masks don't work, she's prepared here with all of this other shit.
I've got Clorox wipes.
Yep.
Special holiday. Anyway, I got Clean Freak. Spray you down.
Don't spray me with that.
No. Okay, and I got Lysol.
There you go.
Disinfect your ass.
And if all of that fails,
because I couldn't get toilet paper.
alcohol.
Alcohol is good, but we have a bidet, so we should be okay.
We're fine. Yeah, no toilet paper. We're good. What the hell are we gonna talk about?
I don't know. What do you want to talk about?
I don't either. So I hope this will probably be a short show. And I know we used to have a real bad habit. I would say that, and then we'd go 2.5 hours.
Long show. He'd be like, "Oh,
yeah."
The Facebook Live feed kicked us off because we went too long.
Hey, you know what I ought to do? Let's do this. Oh, I don't know if this is even anywhere near close to hooked up. So no, I won't. I can't do that. Okay, well, don't call. I was gonna say.
Oh God.
I was gonna try to hook it up so that you could call in and talk to us, but I don't think I can make that work. But you could Skype if you wanted to.
Yeah.
I think if you just type in producer at SarahTalk.com, you'll find us on Skype. If you want to, here's what I'm thinking. Just throw us out some topics. Tell us what do you want to talk about?
What do you want us to talk about?
And we'll talk about that.
We got a couple of things, but not much.
Not much. Obviously the only one thing happening in the world right now is this coronavirus stuff.
It's insanity, guys. I went to Target today. Like, we're having a birthday party tomorrow, and I went to Target to get stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think there's a goddamn thing left in the the cleaning supply department. There's no paper goods. There's no, I was lucky. I got red Solo cups. I was good. That's all I really needed over there.
Right.
Because I keep things to clean the house in stock because that's what you're supposed to do. But I'm glad, it's not a week that I needed, to buy toilet paper. I usually buy the big, huge thing and then we're good for a few weeks. Yeah. I'm really glad it wasn't a week that I needed to buy toilet paper because I'm going to tell you what. There was no toilet paper anywhere.
I just, maybe that's one thing I don't understand.
I don't get it.
Are we expecting all of the stores to close and you won't be able to go and buy toilet paper? Or why are we hoarding up on toilet paper?
What's going on in Italy is that stores have closed unless they're food markets.
Right.
Or pharmacies. so you can get food and you can get medicine. And I think because nobody knows what to prepare for, they're just
Right.
preparing for the worst case scenario that they're just going to be, quarantined for long periods of time. I don't know. I mean,
Yeah, no, that's fair. God.
sorry.
You
The thing
got
that was
the coronavirus.
no, I don't have the coronavirus. Not that I know of.
Great.
Whatever. The thing that was sad though was, the stuff that people are hoarding and buying that they don't necessarily need to buy so much of.
Yeah.
I had to get baby wipes. I still have a toddler, so I need
Yeah.
baby wipes.
Sure.
And there was 2 brands to choose from, and luckily they had like a handful of the ones that I actually buy, and I am a baby wipe snob. I'm sorry. But like, there's no reason for the baby wipes to be empty. There's no reason for baby formula. Those shelves were just empty.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, that's just insanity, because you're going to have inevitably someone's going to come in who lives paycheck to paycheck and can only buy their stuff on a weekly basis, and they can't afford to go out and bulk shop.
Right.
And there isn't going to be anything left for them. And those are the people that are going to hurt.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the kids that are going to be not eating because
Right.
some asshole has 60 jars of baby formula in their garage.
Well, let's talk about what some of the response has been. Florida today just decided to shut down all the schools finally.
Mm-hmm.
Today, too, I believe it was the president declared a national emergency, which I think is a catalyst for the
Mhm.
schools thing. Oh, man. Our county schools did a live stream to announce this. And there have been times when our superintendent has been facing the media. Remember the day that we thought there was a lockdown at the school and
At
nobody knew
our
what was going
school.
on?
Yeah.
Right. And I walked away from that watching her face the media and was like, she handled that.
Mm-hmm. She did.
That was the person that I saw speaking today is like a first year public speaking student.
Right. Well, and
I was just so unimpressed with the ability to convey that information. I don't know.
the last 2 press conferences she has held, I've
Uh-huh.
been super unimpressed with her speaking ability. I've been super unimpressed with her ability to make decisions. This was spun that this was their decision, that they made it, but we all
Right.
knew that it wasn't their decision, that their hand was pushed because the Department of Education came down and said, Florida's shutting down schools.
Well, in 2 hours
And-
prior to
right.
their press conference, they had updated the header on their Facebook
Mhm.
page that said, "We're not closing schools at there because," and this is what shocked me, because there are no known cases in Polk
Right.
County.
Yeah.
So here's the problem,
With that.
and this is, does this speak to the education system? I don't know. The reason we're closing all of this stuff down, right? I want to talk about flattening the curve.
Mm.
You've probably all seen this graph that shows the rate of infectious spread and the number of cases, and the idea that if you act now before it's a problem, before there are cases, what you do is you reduce the total number of cases that are going to happen, period,
Mm-hmm.
and spread it out so that the health responders, the healthcare workers,
Medical centers are
have the capacity
Yeah.
to handle the people who are
not. Mm-hmm.
infected, who are dealing with
Yeah.
So the idea is, like, this is what worries me. This is the why you need skepticism and critical thinking, because it's easy to see what's happening and go, my God, we're overreacting.
Mm-hmm.
Why are we closing this down? Why is that closing? Hell, yesterday, we had all the Disney parks are shutting down. Universal,
Mhm.
SeaWorld. You said today, Legoland.
Legoland announced today.
Right. And the prior to the school closing, they were talking about they canceled all trips and
Sporting
any events that were
events.
more than
Yeah.
going to be more than 250 people or
Mhm.
something. I think they were telling everybody to something like that. I don't
Yeah.
remember how many, but anyway, the
large
idea is
gatherings.
just go home, hunker down, keep to yourself.
What do they call it? Social distancing.
Mm-hmm. Right.
It's
But you got to do that now because
Right.
once there's a case, then it's too late.
right.
The idea is to prevent as many cases as we can.
Yeah.
So for the people who are all, oh, we're overreacting and this is no big deal and the flu is worse and all of that stuff, like look at what's happening overseas, first of all.
Yeah. You have Italy is basically shut down.
Yep.
They're on lockdown. Nobody can go anywhere, do anything. Thousands of people are already dead. And their medical, they're in a better situation to deal with medical issues
Mhm.
than our Medicare system is.
Yep.
A joke to begin with. Well, we cannot handle that level of pandemic here
Mhm.
without severe amounts of life loss or financial ruin across the board. Like this is
Yep.
going to cripple so many people financially.
Well, and you looked at, Disney's announcement was they're going to continue to pay cast members, but also and I know this is true for Disney, but I saw an article about Universal that said, basically most employees still report to work because we're going to deep clean the stuff that we do at night.
Mm-hmm.
The deep cleaning that we do at night, we're going to do during the day and basically just sanitize the fuck out of everything. And the response to that has been, okay, so it's fine we were telling all of our guests to stay away because we don't
Right.
want them to get it, but you're going to make us all come and hang out together.
Mhm.
And how does that make any sense?
They need to be footing the bill to pay professional teams to come in with the proper protective gear
Yep.
to clean it the right way. Our superintendent was saying that too. Their people are going to be
Mhm.
reporting for duty to clean and deep clean the schools. And seriously,
Yep.
that's not the best course of action. You're going to make the almost retired janitor lady or the lunch lady come in
Mhm.
and do deep clean. She'll probably get sick. She might not get coronavirus, but if you're making them do things that they're not used to doing,
Mhm.
they're more likely to be exposed to bacteria.
Right. Right.
They can be just harmful,
Mhm.
period. The end. You just
Another thing that's happening here, and I don't know how true this is elsewhere, but I wanted to talk about one of the things a lot of people are freaking out about is, and this is a valid thing. If you had a job right now that isn't shutting down,
yeah.
well, our kids aren't going to school for the next 2 weeks. Who's going to take care of them? You got to go to work. I got to go to work. My stuff didn't get shut down. So how's that going to work? That's one concern. Another concern, a lot of these kids, the meal that they eat at school is their meal for the day.
Yeah.
So I know our school district said that they are going to keep some of the schools' kitchens open.
They're going to create
to cook.
drop off pickup
for-
locations.
For kids to still
And-
be able to eat.
And I thought it was interesting, and this is, we're going into spring break, so they are planning to provide meals for that week where kids aren't going to be in school, where they'd already planned to feed those kids because they were going to be in school, so the
Right.
stuff's already on the menu.
Right.
But it made me think, okay, so these kids are already going to be out for spring break. What are those kids going to eat during spring break if they were already going to
Sure.
be that got me thinking,
Mhm.
because I'm like, so many kids.
And what do they do during the
What
summer?
do they do during the summer? What do they do during spring break? There has to
Mhm.
be a community outreach somewhere.
Yep.
That can fill in these gaps.
And I know there are some, but I don't know. That's another one of those things. We should just all be fucking paying for it and be
Yeah.
done with it.
Sure.
Because you shouldn't have to worry about where your kid's going to get a meal.
No.
Another sort of related component to that, I guess, is so this is something that we had to decide as a board. We were talking to Rachel and Keith earlier about we plan to launch tomorrow morning partnership with Street Warriors, which is a group that goes out and feeds people who are experiencing homelessness in Lakeland, and they get together at a somebody give me the proper language for this that is somebody give me the proper language for this, but it's a assisted living facility for adults with disabilities. Is that how, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I would say it's
what's the best way to say that and not be ableist about it? You know what I mean? Anyway.
They're still called assisted living facilities. It's not.
That's not the issue. It's disabled adults with disabilities, adults with.
I don't think that part of it matters.
No, it does.
Really?
People first language. Yes, that's why every time you hear me say it, I will always say people experiencing homelessness. I will never say homeless people. And that's why.
I get it, but at the same time,
we learned this at Disney.
God.
We learned this at Disney.
No, I don't remember anything like that. That must have been in a manager class.
No, it was in the disability e-learning. When I hired in, you never say, you never say deaf people. You say people with hearing impairment or whatever.
Okay, maybe, but I don't remember it.
Okay. Well, anyway, it's a thing.
Got it.
My point is, so they go to this facility and the residents there help package up the food for the day.
Okay.
And then they go out and take let me finish the thing. Then they take all of that food and they go out and deliver it. The volunteers, not the residents, go out and deliver it to people out in the community. And so, we're looking at all of our events in the atheist community of Polk County and thinking like, well, what do we cancel? Everybody's canceling everything.
Mm-hmm.
How overboard do we get? Our groups, even when we get together for our monthly meetings, is like 15, 20 people. It's not huge. And so, we're just trying to figure out how do we best make these decisions. And so I was torn about this one tomorrow because I'm thinking like, on one hand, these are people who need that food probably more than anybody right now.
Yep.
Right? They don't have the privilege that we have to just hunker down and, at home. Let's start there.
Right.
They don't have a place to hunker down because the shelters kick you out at 8:00 in the morning or whatever.
Well, and if everybody else is hunkering down, they're not going to see as many people maybe crossing paths with them that might be generous.
Right.
Like they're going to see a decline in what they, would normally.
So they're,
rough.
Yeah. But also, like, on the other hand, like, okay, some of us have kids. Our parents are here. They're older, and this the virus tends to be affecting older people who have
more
existing issues.
I have a shit immune system. I can't.
Right. Yeah. So like, there's our own safety to keep in mind, but also like, what if one of us is a carrier and we take it into this community? That it was just hard for me to decide, like, where do you put that risk?
Yeah, I get it.
I'm sorry. Anyway, go ahead.
Well, okay. So I had a thought, and maybe this is where I'm getting hung up. You're referring to a building, not a person. So your people first language to me is a little pedantic.
The building is not the issue.
Well, yeah, but if you're saying we're going to meet at this place, the term for the building would be an assisted living facility.
I understand that. What I was trying to talk about is the people who are doing the packaging.
Okay. All right. Well,
that's it.
Okay. That's why I
moved
was
on.
Okay. Well, you.
Anyway. So yeah, I just what do you do in that situation? Do you how do you make those decisions? And it's tough. It's a tough place to be in. I know Rachel and Keith had canceled their trip to Austin. They were going to go visit the ACA and hang out over there. The ACA shut all their stuff down.
Yeah.
It's just crazy right now. Just crazy. But don't panic. Don't freak out. It's not, you know what I mean? Like Armageddon's not coming, despite some people's opinions on that.
Oh my gosh. Well, there was, I don't know if it was a government official or somebody came out and said, now is not the time to be going door to door. I went, oh crap, the witnesses are creaming in their pants. Crap.
Get your go bag ready.
Get your go bag. I called my mom 3 times today.
Yeah?
Because I wanted to talk to her and she didn't answer her phone, so I'm sure she was, packing up the bunker.
Oh,
love you, Mom.
God. So then I guess one more thing to talk about it is, am I done with that?
I don't know.
Yeah, I think so. Anyway, is our
mute me.
Our president, Trump, who I don't know. I want to listen to this. I'm sorry, you have to listen to his voice. I want to listen to this because I swear he sounds sick. And there's been news reports of he was on a plane with this person and that person, and he and Pence and like everybody, the whole swamp, 6 degrees of separation in the swamp over there. There you go.
Fucking twat monkeys. Seriously.
Anyway, I don't wish any ill on anyone. However,
I wouldn't mind.
You have Matt Gaetz, who paraded around the house with the big fucking mask on.
If that motherfucker wasn't asking for it.
And he's self-isolating now.
Listen, y'all saw that stupid NBA guy who was being an asshole, touching all the mics. Oh, yeah, look at him now.
Yep.
These people are idiots.
Well, this, I think we know. All right, so this was, when the hell was this?
Yesterday?
2 days ago?
2 days ago?
Yeah, 2 days ago. Let's, hang on, let's listen.
Lester.
All right, Kristen Welker at the White House. Here now is the President of the United States.
My fellow Americans, tonight I want to speak with you about our nation's unprecedented response to the coronavirus outbreak that started in China and is now spreading throughout the world. Today, the World Health Organization officially announced that this is a global pandemic. We have been in frequent contact with our allies, and we are marshaling the full power of the federal government and the private sector to protect the American people.
Now, what's interesting about this already is that from jump, remember, he was all, this is a hoax. This is a hoax. We have nothing to worry about. In a few days, that number will be down to 0. This is nothing. Big nothing burger. It's a hoax.
Nothing.
And now teleprompter Trump has shown up to cite the CDC as if he otherwise cares what the CDC has to say.
He even knows what the CDC is.
Wow. But tell me he doesn't sound a little sick. He's going to gargle here in a minute. And, and it's like, I don't know. I think he's got something.
This is the most aggressive and comprehensive effort to confront a foreign virus in modern history. I am confident that by counting and continuing to take these tough measures, we will significantly reduce the threat to our citizens, and we will ultimately and expeditiously defeat this virus.
Doesn't he just sound like tired? Doesn't he just...
I just feel like you're reading way too much into this.
Well, okay,
we cannot be so lucky.
Maybe.
From the beginning of time, nations and people have faced unforeseen challenges, including large-scale and very dangerous health threats. This is the way it always was and always will be. It only matters how you respond, and we are responding with great speed and professionalism. Our team is the best anywhere in the world. at the very start of the outbreak.
The team is the best anywhere in the world. Meanwhile, in Europe,
We instituted sweeping travel restrictions on China and put in place the first federally mandated quarantine in over 50 years. We declared a public health emergency and issued the highest level of travel warning on other countries as the virus spread its horrible infection. And taking early, intense action, we have seen dramatically fewer cases of the virus in the United States than are now present in Europe. The European Union failed to take the same precautions and restrict travel from China and other hotspots. As a result, a large number of new clusters in the United States were seeded by travelers from Europe. After consulting with our top government health professionals, I have decided to take several strong but necessary actions to protect the health and well-being of all Americans. To keep new cases from entering our shores, we will be suspending all travel from Europe to the United States for the next 30 days. The new rules will go into effect Friday at midnight. These restrictions will be adjusted subject to conditions on the ground. There will be exemptions for Americans who have undergone appropriate screenings, and these prohibitions will not only apply to the tremendous amount of trade and cargo, but various other things as we get approval. Anything coming from Europe to the United States is what we are discussing. These restrictions will also not apply to the United Kingdom. At the same time, we are monitoring the situation in China and South Korea, and as their situation improves, we will reevaluate the restrictions and warnings that are currently in place for a possible early opening. Earlier this week, I met with the leaders of health insurance industry who have agreed to waive all co-payments for coronavirus treatments, extend insurance coverage to these treatments, and to prevent surprise medical billing.
now I read an article about this part that the insurance company representatives like shit their pants over this because like they had agreed to cover testing. And he's over here talking about the insurance companies have agreed to cover all treatments related to the coronavirus, and they're going to waive your copays, and they're going to take all this shit. You don't think his eyes look a little puffier than normal? I'm just trying to look.
Listen.
We are cutting massive amounts of red tape to make antiviral therapies available in record time. These treatments will significantly reduce the impact and reach of the virus. Additionally, last week I signed into law an $8.3 billion funding bill to help CDC and other government agencies fight the virus and support vaccines, treatments, and distribution of medical supplies. Testing capabilities are expanding rapidly day by day. We are moving very quickly. The vast majority of Americans, the risk is very, very low. Young and healthy people can expect to recover fully and quickly if they should get the virus. The highest risk is for elderly population with underlying health conditions. The elderly
like him, underlying conditions like him. Just saying.
Population must be very, very careful. In particular, we are strongly advising that nursing homes for the elderly suspend all medically unnecessary visits. In general, older Americans should also avoid non-essential travel in crowded areas. My administration is coordinating directly with communities with largest outbreaks, and we have issued guidance on school closures, social distancing, and reducing large gatherings. Smart action today will prevent the spread of the virus tomorrow. Every community faces different risks, and it is critical for you to follow the guidelines of your local officials who are working closely with our federal health experts, and they are the best. For all Americans, it is essential that everyone take extra precautions and practice good hygiene. Each of us has a role to play in defeating this virus. Wash your hands, clean often used surfaces, cover your face and mouth if you sneeze or cough, and most of all, if you are sick or not feeling well, stay home.
Now let's pause for a moment to talk about that. Because capitalism tends to not agree with that position. If you're not feeling well, stay home. And I often mention bosses who shame people for staying home.
Yeah.
Oh, so and so calls in a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or you wouldn't get sick all the time if you didn't have kids.
Oh,
Yeah. You're probably right.
Yeah.
But I do.
But
and
you know
I
what?
do.
But you know what? I feel like that's a stupid argument anyway, sidebar.
Mhm.
Because if I didn't have kids and I was, well, okay, hold on. When I didn't have kids and I worked full time, I
Mhm.
called in a lot more because I didn't have bills to pay and kids to take care of. And so, whatever.
Right. But again, you can't say out of one side of your mouth, stay home if you're sick.
No, absolutely.
And then
That's not the world we live in.
shame. Yeah.
That's just the way.
Yeah. I want to live in a world where stay home when you're sick. I mean it.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
I really mean it.
Well, especially, I was talking to somebody, was it maybe today? I don't even remember. The whole thing is so blurry. But our kids could be carrying this. They could get me sick. They could get one of your parents sick. And it might not phase them. They might get sick, but not have as severe. But
Sure.
that's the thing. You never know who's carrying anything because of the way viruses work. But when you have a compromised immune system, you have to be that much more careful. You have to be careful for yourself and your family, and the people that are around you have to be more careful. This is why we get our flu shots every single time.
Yep.
Like there's never been an exception to that.
It makes me think of when you were actively taking Enbrel for your
Oh my gosh.
for your rheumatoid arthritis. And basically the way that works is the doctor's like, okay, so this shuts your immune system off so that it doesn't attack your joints. So if you get sick, then you need to stop taking the Enbrel and come in here and we'll give you an antibiotic.
Right.
And then once you've been clear for 48 hours, you can start the Enbrel again.
Yeah.
And it's a cycle. And then the Enbrel shuts off your immune system and then you get sick again. And then you go get and we're building resistance to antibiotics and that's just.
But meanwhile, your immune system isn't with those drugs. The more you take them, the weaker your immune system gets. Because I was only on it for a short period of time, I feel like my immune system is stronger now. When I do get sick, I don't get sick as long. Certain symptoms last longer just because of fibrosis in the lungs and all that stuff when you get sick. But I don't I don't even want to think about where my immune system would be right now if I had stayed on those drugs.
Yep.
Anyway.
But the thought is that there are people out there who are in that situation.
Yeah, exactly.
And I might be healthy.
Yeah.
Pick it up at work and bring it home into any of the, like we were talking about with this thing tomorrow. You just don't know who's got what and where it's traveling. And that's why everybody's being told to just go home, hunker down. We'll wait it out for 2 weeks, stay away from each other. And then.
I was listening to the radio the other day and there was a guy in Alabama.
That's a good start to the story.
He got coronavirus, went to the doctor. They, nothing wrong. You don't have the flu, just go home.
Right.
And they sent him home and they didn't test him for coronavirus because he hadn't traveled.
Yeah.
He's in Alabama and it's not an epicenter and there's no cases there.
Right. Right.
And so he went home and he started getting worse. And so we called the hospital back and he's like, I feel like you guys sent me home to die. This is what's going on. They said, come back in. He was checking like all of the boxes except for that like exposure. They couldn't link him to
Right.
anybody
Right.
or any way that he would have got it, but they tested him anyway. And it turned out, yeah, he had coronavirus. He's retired. He
Mhm.
doesn't go to work. He hadn't traveled. He didn't know if he had come across anybody who had traveled.
Right.
And he's not in a place where there has been any cases. And I was like, this just proves why we all just need to go home, shut the doors, relax for a couple of weeks.
Yeah. A couple of things about that. So in the beginning, and this was sort of early on, right? Test kits were in low supply, and so they were that was their metric of like, okay, well, we're only going to test you if you
Right.
we're only going to waste a test on somebody who's been overseas,
Mhm.
because that's where it's at.
That's what made sense.
Right.
And also, it's a newer virus.
While
They
we're
weren't-
getting out more test kits,
Right.
right? But also, like in China, trust me, I get it. We're different. In China, it was, you've got it. I'm going to interrogate everyone you've come in contact
Yeah.
with in the last 2
the
weeks.
brigade was going down
And they
the
were like
street
knocking on doors. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, you had contact with this person in the last 2 weeks. You need to get tested. You
Mhm.
need to be
And I need a
isolated.
list of all the people
that you've been
Yeah.
in touch with. Yeah. Yeah. They really did.
It was like, the patient
go down the
zero
tree.
go down.
Yeah. Yep. And that's one way to do it. All right, let's get through this.
There's
Ensure
more.
that working Americans impacted by the virus can stay home without fear of financial hardship. I will soon be taking emergency action, which is unprecedented, to provide financial relief. This will be targeted for workers who are ill, quarantined, or caring for others due to coronavirus. I will be asking Congress to take legislative action to extend this relief. Because
Okay, so ill, quarantined, or I don't remember what the third one
Caring
was,
for.
but it wasn't, hey, your employer shut down and you have the next 2 weeks off.
Right.
Now, of the theme park employers that we've talked about, the stories that have come out, Disney was the first one out, and they said, we're going to pay for anyone who we're telling not to come to work.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And I guess, I don't know, maybe you could call that quarantined. But we're trusting, here we go again, right? We're trusting these corporations to just do the right thing. Shut your doors, take the loss. I mean, what you were telling me some statistics about the heads and beds count being super way down, and
Oh yeah.
like all of the,
Yeah. I don't remember
Disney
what they
was taking the hit.
Oh well, actually, those that I was reading wasn't even Disney hotels. That was just local Orlando
In the
hotels.
area.
The Disney hotels were not part of those statistics.
Mm-hmm.
So, and it was like they were down 12%
Yeah.
from what they were this time last year.
Right.
So
Right.
I don't know. Obviously there's a lot of things going on here. The economy is not in good shape to start with.
Yep.
People are not going places, or at least they're not coming to Disney.
Right. Well, and why would you?
Right.
Why
Well,
would
and
you?
like that's like just, and this was just yesterday. I don't know how old the survey those numbers were, but this only just started getting serious here within the last 48 hours.
This is an article from the Washington Post. Futures for the Dow Jones Industrial Average fell in real time with virtually each word Trump uttered, signaling a lack of confidence among investors that he had control of the crisis and previewing another bloodbath once the markets opened Thursday morning.
Mhm.
That was during the speech. Trump, who believed that by giving the speech, he would appear in command and that his remarks would reassure financial markets and the country, was in, quote, an unusually foul mood and sounded at times apoplectic on Thursday as he watched stocks tumble and digested widespread criticism of his speech, according to former senior administration official briefed on his private conversations.
And
Yeah.
He made this bed. And here's the thing about it, that this is whatever. Take it for what it's worth.
Mm-hmm.
He contradicted himself in the speech. So you can't make an appearance that you have control of the situation when you're saying your administration or whatever at your charge acted swiftly and quickly when you yourself said this is just a hoax.
Right. And so WAPO says the speech contained at least 2 errors and a significant omission. We sort of talked about this. The first one, though, he said the travel ban would apply to cargo. It did not. He said health insurance companies would waive patients' co-payments for coronavirus testing and treatment. Industry officials later clarified they would waive payments for testing only. I mentioned that. And he did not fully explain the details of the travel restrictions, leaving out the fact that U.S. citizens would be exempt.
Yeah, I don't know.
Stylistically, they say, the president himself seemed ill at ease in the formal setting, offering a labored, monotone delivery from behind the resolute desk, twiddling his thumbs and even in moments struggling to read the words on the teleprompter. One senior administration official said Trump's heart was not in the speech.
See, I don't... Teleprompter Trump is just that. He has always had... I can't think of a single speech he's ever given where he hasn't stumbled over something and words and speech and had weird gurgles and mouth noises that make him sound like something is wrong with him.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm like, I don't know.
Okay.
Until I see a test result, I don't think he's.
Well, maybe I don't get my hopes.
Yeah, don't get your hopes up.
Yeah, okay.
Because of the economic policies that we have put into place over the last 3 years, have the greatest economy anywhere in the world by far. Our banks and financial institutions are fully capitalized and incredibly strong. Our unemployment is at a historic low.
So that was another thing that they said. So this speech, he like decided on a whim as the markets were taking a shit. He was like, fuck, I got to get under control. So he decided like last minute, I need to go on and do this. Right. And I guess like all of the White House aides, whatever, speechwriters, staffers were going crazy trying to like line it all up and write the speech and all of that stuff. So it was very rushed. It was put together sort of last minute.
This vast economic prosperity gives us flexibility, reserves, and resources to handle any threat that comes our way. This is not a financial crisis. This is just a temporary moment of time that we will overcome together as a nation and as a world. However, to provide extra support for American workers, families, and businesses, tonight I am announcing the following additional actions. I am instructing the Small Business Administration to exercise available authority to provide capital and liquidity to firms affected by the coronavirus. Effective immediately, the SBA will begin providing economic loans in affected states and territories. These low-interest loans will help small businesses overcome temporary economic disruptions caused by the virus. To this end, I am asking Congress to increase funding for this program by an additional $50 billion. Using emergency authority, I will be instructing the Treasury Department to defer tax payments without interest or penalties for certain individuals and businesses negatively impacted. This action will provide more than $200 billion of additional liquidity to the economy. Finally,
Equity?
Equity?
Finally, I am calling on Congress to provide Americans with immediate payroll tax relief. Hopefully, they will consider this very strongly. We are at a critical time in the fight against the virus. We made a life-saving move with early action on China. Now we must take the same action with Europe. We will not delay. I will never hesitate to take any necessary steps to protect the lives, health, and safety of the American people. I will always put the well-being of America first. If we are vigilant and we can reduce the chance of infection, which we will significantly impede the transmission of the virus. The virus will not have a chance against us. No nation is more prepared or more resilient than the United States. We have the best economy, the most advanced healthcare, and the most talented doctors, scientists, and researchers anywhere in the world. We are all in this together.
Well, that's true, at least. We are certainly all in this shithole together.
We must put politics aside, stop the partisanship, and unify together as one nation and one family. As history has proven time and time again, Americans always rise to the challenge and overcome adversity. Our future remains brighter than anyone can imagine. Acting with compassion and love, we will heal the sick, care for those in need, help our fellow citizens, and emerge from this challenge stronger and more unified than ever before. God bless you, and God bless America. Thank you.
President Trump in Oval Office.
Of course, you got to have the God bless at the end. One of these days, we'll have a president who doesn't do that pandering bullshit.
Okay, I want everybody to just stop for a minute.
Yep.
And I want everybody to think about what that address would have been like if it had been Obama or Bernie.
Even
or
Hillary. Even Hillary. Yeah.
Like, think about that.
Yeah.
And then go fucking vote. Okay.
We did.
I know. I'm once again
Proud
asking you
to be an American.
Oh my gosh.
Yes, I'm once again asking you to vote. Vote for me. David says he also seemed to have difficulty breathing, or perhaps that's just me getting my hopes up. I think I'm right there with you. I'm hoping that he's got the coronavirus. And
listen, nothing would make me happier than for the coronavirus to take out all these lousy boomers.
Not all of them.
No,
some of them
the
are great.
lousy ones.
Okay,
I said lousy.
Okay, yes, I get it.
The ones that are causing problems.
Yes.
The ones that just need to just...
Let's talk about that for a minute. Bernie's having some trouble. Now, last episode, we spent some time talking about, for people who were Liz Warren fans, right? Give them some time to grieve before you start shoving, Biden or Bernie in their face. For people who are Bernie fans who are disappointed at how his campaign is turning out, you got to give people some space. A couple things I want to talk about. One of them is Bernie's pledge has been, we are going to have the biggest voter turnout you've ever seen, because the kids are coming out to vote for me. These young people, newly minted voters, the youth are coming out to support Bernie Sanders. But they're not.
Yeah.
They haven't been. He is not delivering on that nearly anywhere near he did it even in 2016.
Right. They're saying it's skewing about the same numbers.
Yeah.
He's not.
Where's all these
growth,
people?
which is depressing for the people who've, been all in for Bernie.
Right.
I get it.
So the other thing I wanted to talk about, item 2, is the Bernie bros. I love you guys. You're right. He's the only great hope for America. You're right.
There's no denying that. There's no way to even...
However, I have been seeing posts about if Bernie's not the nominee, then we're just fuck them. Burn it to the ground. We're not going to vote for anybody. We're going to write in Bernie Sanders.
Yeah.
We're not going to vote. We're not going to show up. And that'll show them.
They won't.
That'll send a message to the DNC that they can't keep doing this to us.
And no, it won't. But
It won't.
No.
So that's what I wanted to say. That's my problem. Maybe this is like having been in management, in organizing, and like knowing how things work.
Right.
At Disney, we used to get 3 times a week a data report on. So if you were a guest at the parks and one of those people with an iPad flagged you down and said you have time to take a 5-minute survey, right? How has your visit been? How many attractions have you been on? How was this service? How was that? And so they take all of that data and then boil it down and give it to us. And they would give you like, it was like a 5-point scale. And if you were not in excellent or very good, then we all would sit around a table and scratch our heads trying to figure out why.
Mm-hmm.
Why are these people not rating their experience excellent?
What are we doing wrong?
We got to figure it out and fix it and make it better, right? Here's the problem. Those people have to tell you why their experience was not excellent, or that data is useless.
Yep.
So, if you are someone who is on the progressive side, whether you consider yourself a Democrat or you've just aligned yourself with the party because Bernie and AOC and all of these, there's some new people who are shaking things up, this is what I want you to do. Pissing a vote away isn't going to teach anyone anything. It's not going to send a message to anybody. They're going to try it again next time. They're going to roll up their moderate, whoever that is, next time. Yeah. It'll be Pete. And they'll just keep trying it.
Well,
unless you, and we've discussed why this is difficult in the past, so I don't want to get too bogged down in that. Are you going to your local DNC events, meetings? Are you a member of your local Democratic Party? Are you going to those meetings and saying, hey, I'm a progressive. I support Bernie Sanders. I don't want this. I saw a post today that Joe Biden's still against marijuana because bad talking points from the war on drugs reasons. Right? Like, you have to show up to the party. You have to be involved in the Democratic Party. Just voting is not enough of a communication to why you are not voting. If you just don't vote, if you write in a vote, all you're doing is doing something that makes you feel good for a little bit, but you're not communicating the message clearly to the people who need to hear it. And that's what you have to do. Have I made myself clear?
I hope you have. And I'm going to tell you what.
What?
People are about to get deleted.
Yeah.
I can't. I tell you what. Between the coronavirus garbage on Facebook and this election cycle nonsense, I have been all in Bernie, but I also very much understand that throwing a vote away for a principle that isn't going to
right.
I understand the frustration. I understand the anger.
This is my message for you in 2020. If you don't like, did I say this last time on the show? If you don't like Bernie, fine. If you don't like Biden, fine. If you don't like either one of them, fine, whatever. In 2020, you are voting for Ruth Bader Ginsburg.
Yeah.
That's who you're voting for.
Yeah.
Because she needs to fucking retire.
And she can't.
If
there's a freaking monster in the White House.
the worst Democrat you can think of
Yeah,
will not appoint a conservative hack to the Supreme Court.
it won't happen.
That's what we have to vote to protect the Supreme Court, and we have to throw all of your money at patreon.com/SarahTalk. No, I'm kidding. Throw all of your money at the race against Mitch McConnell. Get him the fuck out of politics.
He needs to
Send
go.
him packing. Retire that
Has
guy.
he been around anybody
now.
with this coronavirus?
Yeah, I don't know.
That'd be interesting to find out. Yeah,
His turtle shell is probably protective of.
Yeah. I'm at that point where I see these posts and I just think it must be so nice. You must have so much privilege that you can just throw a vote away.
Yes. Yes.
How dare you?
Yeah.
When there are people that lives are literally being ruined because this administration is horrifying and we cannot afford another 4 years. You're saying, oh, well, worst case scenario, it's just another 4 years. How many people are going to die in those 4 years because this administration has pushed them to that? We cannot afford that. Okay, I'm done. I'm angry. I'm angry.
Yeah. It's frustrating to see because I think maybe this is part of it, right? We went through this in 2016.
Yeah. People threw votes away in 2016.
But we went through this. Like, we went through this transformative process of, I want to send a message to fuck you, to, the DNC fucked over Bernie, and boy, we're going to show you. And eventually we came around to the fact that, like, all right, I'm going to bite my lip and go vote for Hillary because have you seen President Trump? Like, knowing that would be what we got if we didn't. Like, think about all of the hot topic phrases that people use. Lesser of two evils. Fuck, what's the other one? There's another one. But vote for the lesser of two evils. I didn't like the feel of that. Vote blue no matter who is the other one. I don't feel good about that either. That doesn't those words don't make me feel good. I don't like the sound of that. It doesn't give me confidence. I don't like it.
So it comes down to vote for the person who will not put a conservative hack in RBG's spot.
Right. If that's what it comes
if that's what
it
have
takes.
to do.
Right.
To make it okay for you to not vote for your guy because your guy is not in the running.
Right. Now, all of that said, it looks like an uphill climb for Bernie, but numerically, there's still a path.
There's still a path.
Now, I'm already getting emails from various political action committees asking, should Bernie drop out? Is it time? Does Bernie need to just get out of the way and let the nominee be the nominee?
No.
Florida will be interesting. Florida is projected to go to Biden. Let me pull up the 270 win.
Yay.
Let's see where we're at.
I hate Florida.
I do too. Fuck this place.
We suck.
Yeah.
Suck at everything.
Look at all that red on the map.
It's blood.
Yeah.
That's what that is. Blood.
So let's see. Let's drill down and can we look at Florida?
I don't know.
Because I know if you click on the map, it changes colors around and you can show what it would look like.
That's Nebraska's got lines through it. What is this map you're looking at?
It's toss up but leaning right. Where the fuck is the? Yeah, that's not what I wanted to do. You can run this against seeing Biden versus Trump. What that might look like. Here we go. Interactive maps. Is that what I want? Oh, that's where I was. Anyway, Florida looks like it is likely going to go for Biden. So I don't know. What do you do? Like,
Well, okay, so
here we go. This is what I was looking for.
there you
All
go.
right, so Biden's at 883, Sanders 728 right now. They have to get to a minimum of 1,991 to win the nomination on the first ballot.
Can Warren give her
No, you carry all of these to the
Why
convention.
is Gabbard still in it?
I don't know.
What is her deal?
She's the Russian operative, remember?
I mean, what the it's so stupid.
All right, here we go. Let's see, through some Florida. There we go. Florida has they're projecting Biden to go 161 to Sanders 58.
Now, is that if all of the polling locations at the senior homes stay open from coronavirus?
The voting locations, you mean?
I mean, what if those?
Yeah.
What if the villages don't get out to vote because they're quarantined?
I don't know.
Could that change the projection?
There has been conversation about like delaying elections because of this thing too.
I was afraid of that.
Mm-hmm.
No, we cannot delay elections. That is not well. What the governor actually said that today. Somebody asked during his press conference. The Florida governor said, "Nope, we're going to vote. We're gonna figure that out. We voted in the Civil War. We vote. That's what we do.
Yep.
We're going to vote." So he seems pretty confident that there will be a path to get it done.
Okay, so where are we at?
Is it too late to request a mail-in ballot? Just mandatory mail-in ballots for everybody.
Yeah, right.
I mean, we already voted, but that's just the primary. Once you get to the general, that's a whole nother.
So tomorrow, you have Guam and Northern Mariana. And the 15th. And March 17th is the next big one. Arizona, Florida, Illinois, Ohio.
Yeah.
So let's see what Arizona, Illinois, Ohio.
Ooh, what's that?
Yeah, it was the audio from the computer. Arizona has Biden 48% to Sanders 25. Biden 43 delegates, Sanders 24 is their prediction. So Biden up 2, basically 2 ahead. Who else did I say?
Arizona, Illinois.
That was Arizona.
Ohio.
Illinois is a big take. 155 delegates. 94 to Biden, 61 to Sanders is the prediction. Almost 2-1. And Ohio's a weird fucking place. 136. They're saying 85 to Biden, 51 to Sanders. So almost in every one of these that's coming up on the 17th, they have Biden ahead, almost 2-1. So at what point does Bernie drop out? Are we looking at a scenario where Bernie drops out, or are we looking at another 2016 where he pushes to the end? Mm-hmm. As long as neither of them reach the required minimum delegates, right? Does he stay in just to move the needle a little further to the left?
Yeah.
Like, Joe, you've got to get on board with
something.
Marijuana. You've got to get on board with Medicare for all. You got to get on board with whatever, right? The thing that worries me about Bernie's leverage is, again, like his leverage is, you need to move left or my people are not going to come out and vote for you.
Yeah.
And his people are not really coming out and voting for him to start with.
Yeah.
The young vote that he's talking about, bringing all of these new people into the party, that's not happening.
Yeah.
But even if he dropped out and through his unequivocal support behind Joe Biden, there is a I don't know what, 10% of the Bernie bros that are not going to vote for him anyway. Like, they just will not vote for
No matter
anyone
what Bernie
but
says. Like,
Right,
you know,
right.
Bernie could just buckle down and say, listen, we got to do this for the greater
Right.
good
Is
or
it
whatever.
really about beating Trump, or is it not?
Right.
Like, where are you on this?
And that's the thing that bothers me so much about this, because Bernie would say, listen, guys, I didn't pull it out. You got to go vote for Biden or whoever
Right.
the nominee is.
Right.
You got to go just do it.
Yep.
We'll come back in 4 years with AOC and
Yep.
like, you know
Yep.
what I mean? Like Bernie would say it, but
Yep.
they're so just
Yeah.
fuck the establishment that they won't even listen to him anymore, which is scary
Yeah.
because they all know he would. If they don't know that he would say that, then I don't know that they're really paying attention to what his mission is.
Right. The Bernie fandom. Maybe. Oh, this is interesting. I haven't considered it this way before. But that level, that deep Bernie fandom, is authoritarian in a way that the Trump fandom is.
Mm-hmm.
I've heard people liken things like that before, like together.
Yeah.
But that just in that moment, I had that flash of like, wow, yeah, look,
It's a
he's a
similar-
dude. Like, he's a dude.
Yeah.
And he's been on the right side of history his whole fucking career. He's been banging on this same bullet points this whole fucking time. 40 years he's been, my entire lifetime, he has been talking about the same shit.
We
And
all
he's
know it.
right.
He's right.
And he's right. But he's not the fucking Messiah.
Yeah.
There will be others. There are others already coming up in the
Yeah.
ranks. So, if it isn't this time, it isn't this time. And if that's his last shot at it, that's his last shot at it. But for the people who, I think this is the thing that you said that I want to reinforce and tie off on is, you have to think of the least among us when you go out and to vote. You have to think about the people who do not have the privilege that you have and make that decision, not for you, but for the people who are most likely to be harmed by another 4 years of Trump. And whether that's considering the GSRM population and the damage that's being done there, whether that's thinking about the Supreme Court and the possible, my God, if
Oh,
they
you wanna-
put one more
We're doomed.
conservative hack on the Supreme Court,
You want to see
you
Armageddon?
will not in our lifetime ever see, like I said I think I said it last week, all of the cases that you are concerned about, forget it.
They're gone.
Roe v.
They're-
Wade will be
you're- yeah.
overturned.
Life
all
as
of-
we know it.
all of the religious exemption stuff will get passed and nobody will care. It will be a rubber stamp.
If you have somebody in your life who depends on government programs for things like food
Yeah.
or medical care or assisted living, there are so many programs that you probably don't even know that much about because you've never had to
Mm-hmm.
utilize them. But there are so many people that Trump has cut from all of these programs already. So much money.
Yeah. Yep.
We cannot do this
Right.
to our people.
Do not let the perfect be the enemy of the good.
Yeah.
So however you need to frame that, if it's vote blue no matter who, if it's don't let the perfect be the enemy of the good, if it's the lesser of two evils, if none of those make you feel good, they don't make me feel good. Figure out what it's going to take for you to go, I'm voting for not Trump.
You cannot lose if you are voting for RBG.
And let me also say, I recognize, like, where we were last week, people are still there.
Sure. Oh, yeah.
And
absolutely.
so my caution last week was, don't shove your party unity at
Mhm.
people too soon.
Sure.
And here we are tonight shoving party unity
Well-
at people in a way. So I recognize that there are a lot of people who are still there. But my challenge to you then is, take your time to think it through, and again, skeptical, critical thinking.
Right.
Use some logic and reason, and I think you'll have to come to the objective conclusion that we have to take back the White House, hold the House, and take back the Senate.
And we're still only in the primaries. So
yeah, there's a lot to
The
come.
other part of this is talk to your friends, make sure they're voting, make sure they have a way to get to the polls. If they don't, drive them.
Drive them. Yep.
That's one of the best ways we can try to make some dent in this crazy thing, is just to make sure everybody who is registered to vote votes.
Okay, last couple of topics, or one or two topics. Our short show is already at an hour 20.
Yeah, I
know. Victoria pointed out there are a lot of anti-trans law legislation that is out and about right now. 44, this is from the Human Rights Campaign, 44 anti-trans bills are filed in 16 states so far this year. And that'll only get worse. Several pose serious threats of passage, 23 targeting children. And so there's a report on hrc.org if you want to go look at it. It's interesting. It kind of breaks down like the anti-trans bills that they're tracking and, what they're all doing. A lot of them are about bathroom, locker room spaces, trans people participating in sports, which we've talked about here on the show before, all of that. There's even some marriage bills that are floating around, which is like, come on, that's I want to say, come on, that's settled. And yet we could lose the Supreme Court. There's already conservative hacks installed at all levels of the courts.
There's so much damage that needs to be undone.
Yep.
Can we
Yep. But it drives me nuts. The thing about this that pisses me off more than anything is that these are the same people that are, I should be able to make decisions about my own children and their health. Right? I shouldn't have to vaccinate my kids if I don't want to because I own my children and I get to do whatever I want with them. Oh, you want to let yours be trans? Well, fuck you. You shouldn't be allowed to do that. We need to have a law that says you can't let your kid be trans because, excuse
Wait a minute
me?
now. Yeah. What planet are we on right now?
We are, listen, we talked about this when it happened.
I feel like the space-time continuum is broken.
We went back in time. Biff still has the sports almanac. We have to get the sports almanac in the 50s, of course. And then we won't be in the Biff Tannen alternate universe terrible timeline.
I feel like even that is just, I don't even think that Doc could save us. We need stronger.
You need an old white dude.
I was gonna say we need Captain Picard to show up in his spaceship and just rescue us all.
Right. I will add, so a lot of the legislation that's out there, I've been talking to Devin up in Tallahassee, and with Humanists of Tallahassee, and she's an American Atheists assistant state director. About a lot of these bills, and here in Florida at least, nearly all of the bills we were watching died in committee.
Mm-hmm.
All of the ones that we had flagged as being sort of atheist issues, all of them but the abortion ones didn't go anywhere. There was a Bible class bill that didn't push. There was some anti-LGBT stuff that didn't go anywhere. We were trying to be prepared to jump on and act, but they just kind of fizzled and didn't really go anywhere. And that's telling, I guess, in a way, especially in a Republican-held state like this, that's not a top legislative priority here.
Right.
There are places for which it is, sadly. But that's a thing to watch too, right? We want to, in the same way you might when you're talking about beliefs, you want to count the hits and the misses, right? Not just the hits. And so even when we did a lot of the let's read the news sort of shows, a lot of those were, and here is a state that filed a bill for this terrible thing, right? And we're not news media, but let's be honest, the news media has the same problem that we do in this respect, and that is that's a bill being filed. That's not a bill being passed. It's not a bill going into law signed by the governor.
It's just some guy wanted to write
somebody's
this bill.
being a dick.
Yeah.
They're
trying to put it
it's
into...
crazy Kim Daniels, Demon Buster Daniels, filing this garbage left and right. And if there's not support, then we never talk about it again. See, that's the thing. We'll talk about it when it's been filed.
Right.
And so it feels like there's just a ton.
Yeah.
But what actually gets passed is a completely different thing.
Yeah.
And in those cases, I think you have to, sort of look case by case, but to see what the makeup of the legislature looks like, who's holding the House and the Senate, and where is it in the South or not?
Where is it? Who's pushing it?
Right.
Who wrote it? Whose hands are in whose pockets?
Right.
There's
So
a lot of different things that...
The hard thing is it's easy to just get completely fucking lost chasing all of these fires around. There's just so much.
And they're not even fires. They're just potential future fires. It's like when you get a file on your note in your school record. All right, we're just going to write this down that you were absent this day. It doesn't really mean anything until it becomes a problem, until it's...
In 2019, Florida lawmakers filed 1,861 bills.
Jeez.
Lawmakers passed about 10%.
Yeah.
Right? So it's buckshot. They just shoot all of this stuff out into the floor, and then it starts going into committees, or maybe it doesn't even go to committee.
Yeah.
Committee decides we're not going to hear it, and then it dies. And then the process, and especially here in Florida, because it lasts 3 months, and it just moves so fucking fast, it's hard to keep up on.
Yeah.
You almost have to live there and be that be your thing. All you do is just hang out at the state house and track this stuff.
Yeah.
It's insane.
Not my cup of tea.
No, I certainly didn't realize, 5 years ago when we started doing the show, even what all was involved in that, what that process took, how, how it worked and how time and detail and all of that stuff. So, that's been a learning thing for me, but, and then the other thing we've talked about before is how do you best communicate to the lawmaker when these things are coming up, right? And so when I'm thinking about, I want to implement a program for our group that, and if you're signed up for any action group, whatever, you'll get these action alerts, right? Click here to send an email to your lawmaker that says you support or oppose such and such, right? And so there's some method to this madness. Do you try to reach out when the bill is filed to get the committee chairs to not even take it up? Do you wait until it's in committee and then reach out to all the committee members and tell them that why you don't support it? Then it goes to the floor, and then do you reach out to your elected official that represents you to say that you don't support it or you do support it or whatever it is, right? There's so many steps along the way, and there are just so many freaking bills that get filed that it's herding cats. It's hard to keep track of everything that's going on and to be engaged and to respond to it. And again, we've talked about this before. And you have a job and you're fucking busy and you have kids and life is just it's not forgiving in that way. It doesn't give you an opportunity to be an engaged civic citizen like that. It just doesn't. That's the state level.
Yeah.
Now you've got school board and city council and county commissioners and all of these other things that you nobody got time to be involved in all that shit.
Yeah.
And it's no wonder that we are where we are.
Yeah. Nobody has time to pay attention. So all the people just get whatever they want because there's not enough people to check and balance.
And you know who there is to go to all of these meetings and be involved and grumble and gripe and complain? It's all old retired people.
Yep. I wasn't going to say it.
I'll say it. It's old retired people who ain't got nothing better to do than gripe and growl.
Mm-hmm.
It's not all of them.
No.
But
a good majority.
That good enough for you tonight?
I think so.
I think we've covered it for not having anything that we were going to talk about. Yeah, that's not too bad. Okay, so what do we say? The 14th we vote? Is that what I said? The 17th. Sorry, 17th. I'm an idiot.
Yep,
It's,
tomorrow's the
tomorrow's.
14th. There. I think I need to get you to bed.
I think you do. I got to get up soups early. We're going to go buy a tree tomorrow. I've been waiting for a long, long time. I'm excited.
It'll be fun.
It's not the color I wanted, but I think it'll work.
It'll be good.
Yeah, it'll be fine. So we'll at least come back and check in with you after the Florida results come in and talk about that some more. But otherwise, thanks for listening. Thanks to the patrons for patroning, and thanks for all of you for watching on the live stream. We'll see you next time. You've been listening to Sarah Talk.
Sarah Talk is made possible by listener support. Visit patreon.com/SarahTalk to become a patron and help keep this program going. Contact Sarah and Company by email at producer@SarahTalk.com or call 224-40-SARAH. That's 224-407-2724. And follow us on social media, facebook.com/SarahTalkRadio and on Twitter @SarahTalkRadio. The opinions and information provided on this show are intended for entertainment purposes only. All opinions are solely that of the hosts and their guests. We make no representations as to accuracy, completeness, timeliness, or validity of any information and will not be liable for any errors or damages. Sarah Talk is a production of Sarah Austin Media.